Well, it went from cold and clear to pretty powerful and some strong thunderstorms and some interesting cloud development as we made our way into sunset. Just talking about a micro burst. Now, this is when a storm collapses upon itself, and then we see a huge gust of wind as a result, but nothing from this storm as it collapsed. And we saw the cloud cover push right into the cactus cam. Didn't even see any reports of it, but was getting a better look at the analysis of a collapsing storm like this. Not quite sure what it would be as we look at the temperature change as well, going from those freezing temperatures up into those 60s. Now, the cloud cover helping us hold on to some of that heat as we make our way down into the 40s tonight. And of course, we're looking at those temperatures across the entire Concho Valley. Some areas did see a little bit of thunderstorm activity. Not here in San Angelo. 56 degrees, everybody else in a combination of 50s, 60s, and 40s. And we're seeing some of those colder temperatures really move in because we're following this trough right now. It's such a pronounced system that we have a good idea of how it's looking. And this is an excellent time to show you guys exactly what we talk about when we talk about some of this low pressure making its way in. Of course, these colder temperatures in those 50s are very close to some of those warmer temperatures in those 60s. That's 10 degrees and not that far of a distance. Now, that's pretty extreme, or a tight gradient, we would call it, when we're looking for where the wind speed is going to be picking up the most and where we're going to see the most calmer temperatures. Now, we're starting to see the moisture values really spike around where we're seeing those colder temperatures, of course, higher wind speeds, and then that cloud cover. But off to the west, still seeing those drier temperatures and those dew points that are a little bit more on the frozen side. We're getting a better look at Texas when we're talking about that moisture making its way in at the lower levels, but the upper levels causing so much faster winds. That good level of exhaust is what we're looking for. That's what's helping collapse these storms as the moisture in the atmosphere cools down rapidly. This is going to be the long wave trough as we look at it over Texas, because this is the best way to show you sort of where the cloud development, cold weather, inclement weather is going to develop. There's our fast moving winds, anywhere really in the reds, pushing in the excess of about 100 miles per hour in those upper atmosphere, about cruising altitude. See that ridging make its way in with those slower wind speeds. That's going to gently warm us up into those 90s by the weekend. Of course, we see that strong low pressure off to the west. That's where we could continue to see some of the cloud cover we're looking at right now as it drops down about 12,000 feet from the Sierra Madres as it makes its way down from the Edwards Plateau. Here is a good example. There's our trough all the way down from Utah into Arizona, New Mexico, then making its way over the Concho Valley. Futurecast going to show you how that lines up with this cloud cover really sticking to some of those lower areas. Of course, these thunderstorms are slated to develop, and you see them along the I-35 corridor as that moisture pulls across the topography and then continues to move off to the east as it explodes across Dallas. So tonight we're going to make our way down into the 40s, holding onto that cloud cover as it clears, and as a result we're going to see a lot of shielding from those mountains, really keep things pretty light and comfortable throughout that Tuesday or that Wednesday, excuse me, already in the middle of the week. That's going to push us up into the at least the upper 60s, if not lower 70s. We'll try again tomorrow. Of course, we're seeing those calmer conditions, but again, seeing how strong that low pressure is with that cold air as we make our way towards that weekend, we're going to continue to see these temperatures gradually rise up into those 80s. But you see that low pressure that we were talking about making its way in from the west. By the time we make our way into April, we could see a good 20-degree drop back down into those 70s, where those lows were finally coming up into those 60s, but they're cooling back down. Stay tuned. We'll have more up the break. You're watching KSAN News at 10.